प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य मणिस्थ श्रुतं मे मा प्रहसीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. May my speech be firmly established in my mind. May the mind too be firmly established in my speech. May there be perfect correspondence between my thoughts, words, and actions. May the truths of the scriptures come to me. May not what I learn from them ever forsake me. Let me lead my life day and night according to their teachings, so that the self-effulgent Lord shines forth in my life. I shall speak what is appropriate. I shall speak the truth. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Protect me, protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel all the boundaries, the dividing lines between us, between I and so many things around. They just disappear. They are anyway fictitious, undefined. To facilitate this understanding, just imagine lot of ice cubes kept in a big pot. And in the comparatively warmer temperatures like what we have right now, we see that all the ice cubes, their boundaries are slowly merging, and in a little while we see the uniform water. The ice cubes intrinsically were one, although different in appearance. So also the truth of all the variety. Let us feel that it has melted into the transcendent unity. And with that, all the sense of time and space has disappeared. All desires have disappeared. I see I am beyond all limitations. I am perfect. I am bliss itself. Now let us feel that this unified ultimate existence has again condensed into names and forms, different shapes, different individualities apparently. But now we know that the substance in all these is one, and that is our true divine nature. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let us begin today's discussion on this great biography of Sri Ramakrishna, bringing out the spiritual eminence of this God man, and let us feel the spiritual significance of that life for each of us. So, let us chant this prayer. Tava kathamritam taptajeevanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadattatam Bhuvi Grinanti Te Bhurida Janaha. We were discussing the various states of Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual awareness. uh, he would see the divine everywhere and at all the time, but with variations. And these variations we discussed last time as the non dual or the qualified non dual or the dual. So, these are the main broad divisions, and in all these, the awareness, central awareness of Sri Ramakrishna was of the unified one reality. He would be sometimes like taking up the same example that we were meditating on. Sometimes he would see the different ice cubes, and so one ice cube is different from another ice cube. That he may say this is big, this is small, but he was still aware, totally aware of the intrinsic oneness of all of them. They are all, as far as substance goes, is identical, same, no change in them, and that is how he would perceive the variety. The names and forms would be seen, and he would address each name and form accordingly. Like, because all is one, he wouldn't say that let me eat stones and not rice. No, both are God, but then in manifestations there is this difference. The one manifestations, one's way of manifestation is okay for eating. Not all manifestations are worth eating. So, although intrinsically all are divine, there is an apparent variety. Seeing the variety is a common feature of Sri Ramakrishna as well as we all. We see variety. The difference is we do not see the oneness underlying this variety. And that is when we see that Sri Ramakrishna is seeing both the complete truth while he was seeing the names and forms. And exactly when seeing the names and forms, he would behave differently. Some manifestations, like there was, we were reading about Pratap Chandra Hajra, that his connection with Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna would often criticize him and scold him and all that. Uh, but that doesn't mean that he did not see that that person is intrinsically divine. He would see Narendra, and also he would point out the mistakes in his understanding. He would praise Narendra to the unimaginable heights, that he is having the 18 great powers in full manifestations, because of a partial manifestation of one of these, Keshav Chandra Sen, who was at that time very famous, because of a partial manifestation of just one of them, Keshav Chandra has become so great in this world. Narendra has 18 such powers in full bloom. He would say the others are like a small that light spark. Somebody is like a small lamp. somebody may be a big lamp. Narendra is like the sun. So it is, and yet he would not hesitate to point out the shortcomings in Narendra's understanding too. So he would distinguish, separate everybody. That some would complain when Narendra is there in the room, Sri Ramakrishna's whole attention is on Narendranath. We, as it were, don't exist. So it is true that Sri Ramakrishna would love Narendra like that, uh, but he still was aware that everything is the same one reality. So, we were discussing different varieties in his dealing with this manifold world. So, we saw he gave various examples. We were on page 449, and he would tell, look, that removing the outer sheets of the plantain tree, you reach the inner pith and consider it to be the essence. Then you realize that the sheets go with the pith, and the pith goes with the sheets, and both together form the stem. It is last time we saw the example of the bell fruit, that when you buy the bell fruit, it is a fruit with a hard shell and lot of seeds and the shreds inside, but there is the sweet pulp. So you eat that pulp. So for the practical purposes, bell fruit is that pulp. You ate bell fruit means you ate the pulp. It is, you don't say when you eat, for example, a coconut, you haven't eaten the shell, it would be terrible to eat it. You have eaten the pulp. So, but when you buy the coconut, you buy the whole thing, and if you are buying by weight, then the weight will include the weight of the shell and all other things that you are going to discard. So, uh, it is this Lord is this whole thing. That is the Brahman or the truth is the everything. But the appearances that we get attached to, they are the names and the forms. They have no substance. You have to discard them. Uh, why we suffer in this world? Just imagine, instead of eating the pulp in the coconut, we keep on biting at the shell, that hard coconut shell. Will we not suffer? We will be suffering. Our teeth will break. We will not get anything. It is so. Why we suffer in this world is because we consider these names and forms to be the substance. Forget the pulp, whereas the saints, they see that that pulp is real, abstract, remove the names and forms, and thus they are able to get over the bondage and the consequent suffering. So this is how Sri Ramakrishna would look at things, that it is all is one. But then you see it has the difference in appearance is to be recognized and respected. But along with recognizing and respecting the inner oneness, this is how one should deal with this experience of our worldly life. That yes, we have this I am so and so. It is, and I have all these relations. This is my son or my daughter. This is my uh, spouse. This is my mother. This is my father. All these things are there, but they are appearances. Their reality is like the reality of the coconut shell. That it is not, it doesn't have any substance. It is to be discarded. If you want to have this, eat coconut properly, then discard the pulp, discard the shell. What we do is we discard the pulp and keep on biting at the shell. So that is how we suffer in this life. Sri Ramakrishna tells that how you have to see this underlying oneness and see the place of names and forms. These names and forms are Maya. One of the great Vedanta texts by Sureshwaracharya, I am forgetting the name of it. It is, he mentions there that everything in the world has these five elements. Five things are making everything. Whatever you see in this world, every experience, it has Sat, Chit, Ananda. These three things: existence, consciousness, and bliss. Then there are two other things, name and form. These five things: Sat, Chit, Ananda, Nama, Rupa. Existence, consciousness, bliss, name, form. Of these, the first three are due to the Brahman, the God. The God provides the first three, and ignorance or Maya provides the last two. Name and form, they are provided by Maya. So that is how uh, we take those only the names and forms. But see, the names and forms have no attraction really. That is why we don't, our attractions do not last. The bondage lasts, but the attractions don't last. Like the children, they take a toy and then play for 2 minutes, and the attraction from the toy is gone. Same happens with human beings as well, grown ups also. Only the toys are different, that's all. So it is, but what is that that was attracting? That is this Satchidananda, the God. That is the source of attraction. That is the meaning of this word Krishna. Krishna means that which attracts. The attracting power, Karshayati iti Krishna. So, the one who attracts in anything, in any attraction that we feel, the attraction is not that form. Therefore, the attraction is gone in no time. The best, most beautiful form appears attractive for some time. That's it, you know. After some time, that is gone. Even though the same form is there, it fails to attract. Yes, there is the addiction and the bondage that remains, but the attraction is gone. That is how one Marathi poet describes in a very, graphic way, that then we live together. This is talking about the family life. We live together, but it is only the compulsion, the pressures, because of which we continue to live together. There is no really attraction that is working, that is gone. So it is because the Krishna is not seen. The Krishna is the attraction. So it says that it is it is like taking off the layers of an onion one by one. At last, nothing is left. Hmm. This is an example given by many that, okay, let us find out who am I. Hmm. Who am I? Uh, these clothes are not I, certainly, because I have put them on. Now it's all right that if you pull at my shirt, then, well, I will be pulled, but that is because I have put it on. That is what they do when a speaker is taking too long a time talking and talking, not stopping. Then somebody, a moderator, has the job to give a pull to that fellow's shirt. Okay, pull, hey, that's enough. But of course, if the person has not put on that shirt, and if you keep on pulling that shirt, nothing will happen. So, we are not the clothes. Similarly, we are not body. We, as long as we have put on the body, we feel that I am that, and whatever happens to body happens to me. Wherever the body goes, I think I have gone there. But it is not the truth. You can experience it as you dream. You body is at one place, you are not at another, at that place. Even in such lectures you feel that if you examine, Richard is here, body, is he here? Sometimes, yeah, sometimes not. He is frank to admit it, others may hesitate to admit, that's all, but that is truth of all of us, you see, that we are not there all the time. That is why when I see somebody is not here, take the name of that person. Hey, so that person, because the name is very powerful. So because of the name, that person gets dragged back here again. So it is uh, onions, peel that, so the outer, that skin is not onion. Now you see that underneath there is another skin. You may peel that also off. That's not real onion. So we peel off the body also. I am not really the body. It is just the skin. Peel it off. I am not the body. What, Punita, do you agree? Huh? Yeah, if you peel the skin called body off, now you can see the inner layer of what you are. Now you see that you are not having any age or gender, because all of that was for the body. Mm. You don't have to worry about what is my birthday and all that. It is only for the body, It is what is my age, and what is my gender, and so forth. All that problem is gone once you take out this sheath. Then you say, maybe I am thoughts and all that. No, I am not that either. And you remove that as well. So what is left? You may think nothing is left. Well, that is self. Nothing that can be specified is left, because all specifications means limitations. they are all gone. The self is all pervading. And then you see that very self was manifesting as all this. That is the existence. So that was manifesting in all names and forms. So this is the process of what is called adhyaropa and apvada. That superimposition and desuperimposition. That this is all superimposed on self, all names and forms. So, uh, therefore, these names and forms, what they are in reality, they are the self, and the self is the reality of all of them. So, this is thus you can see it from both sides, that it is that self is manifesting as all these. So he says, let us resume the main topic. When the master dwelt in the state of Bhavamukha, experiencing all pervading I-ness, he saw the one manifesting itself as many. Descending a few steps from the Nirguna aspect of the Divine Mother, he moved around in the realm of Vidya Maya, the Maya of knowledge. But even in that state, the manifestation and realization of the One was so intense that the Master truly felt that he himself was doing, thinking, or saying whatever everyone or anyone else in this world was doing. A great state. You see, variety is seen, but the same I is in all of them. Just as we feel being identified with the body, we feel that I am holding the book in the left hand, I am holding it in the right hand, but I am in both left hand as well as right hand. Now, as for a saint, this expands to all hands, all feet, all heads, everything is now pervaded with that same one I. We can feel this. It is for us to, go a little within and see this truth that all different manifestations are really just I. Like all the trillions of cells in the body, all are I. That same I is in every particle that you consider the body. In every hair, the same I. There may be thousands of hair on the head. Now, but the I, this also is mine, that also is mine. So, similarly, all bodies are seen as mine, I. And thus, whatever is somebody is doing, I, in that form, am doing it. Somebody is doing something good, I am doing it in that form. Somebody is doing something very terrible, I am doing it in that form. So, all that same I pervading in everything, that was how Sri Ramakrishna could see that. Even a glimpse of that state is wonderful. One day at Kashipur, When a man walked on some grass, the master told us he was feeling a terrible pain as if someone was walking on his chest. In fact, some bruises actually appeared on master's chest and he was restless with pain. That is because of that being one. Somebody had asked me about some such similar experiences of saints. That how could it happen that it is that person uh, walked on the grass there and the mark came on Sri Ramakrishna's chest? Well, that happens. I asked that person that look, if somebody says a very harsh word to you or gives a slap on your cheek, now the tear comes from the eyes. Why it should have come from the cheek? I was not hurt. Nobody has hit the eye. But then why the tear comes from the eye and not from the cheek itself? Well, you may say the same eye, same cheek. Not only that, suppose the uh, child gets hurt and the mother starts weeping. What happened now? There is the separation, apparent separation. But see, you get affected because you see the same oneness. You feel the connectedness. And therefore, when a saintly person sees the same eye in everything, mm, that is how the response comes. Sri Ramakrishna, the divine, would see that kind of sameness and thus see that I am doing anything that somebody is doing, I am doing that. So, because the I is same in all different forms, mm, like the uh, waves, infinitely many waves rising and falling. Think of the awareness of the ocean. One wave hitting another wave. Now, for the ocean, both are I, you see. That wave also is my expression. Like there is some lodging there, cough lodging. On Naomi's desk it is there. So it is just like that. A non-coughing Yogatmananda and coughing Yogatmananda, they are not really different, but they are different. They sound different. Mm. So it is like that you see that there is this variety. Sri Ramakrishna saw this sameness. Mm. Coming down further from that state, when the master dwelt in the realm of Maya, he always maintained the attitude, I am a servant, thank you, of the Divine Mother. I am her devotee. I am her child. I am part of her. Still further down is the realm of Vidya Maya, the Maya of ignorance, where lust, anger, greed, delusion, and so on are rampant. Hmm. So, let me take so that you won't be bothered much by my cough. So, mm, pardon? It is your cough too. Yeah, correct. Yeah, good, good, good. Yeah, look how spiritual Rocio is. Good, good. Keep it up. Hmm. So, hmm, see the example of tear that I was giving. And the pain was here, but this eye, it doesn't have any problem. But then the tear came from there. The expression of oneness. Hmm. And then when this sense of oneness, intrinsic indwelling one reality or one self is lost, then the one identifies with name and form, and you see the difference. Now, the realm of avidya maya means the maya of ignorance, that I am this and that fellow is that. Now all competition, jealousy, hatred, violence, all that becomes very natural. It is automatic expression of this variety. You see that it is killing is a part of this awareness. You cannot stop killing and hatred if you stick to this awareness that I am this and there are all others. I had some time back given a Sunday lecture on psychology of violence. Why there is violence? Because the variety that we stick to, that variety is not real. And even in the name of love, the violence comes. Uh, what do you do when you say, Vishwanath says, I love ice cream? Means what? The ice cream is finished. Ah, gone. There is the violence is wreaked on that poor ice cream. Mm. Mm. This is a very deep idea. Therefore, the only way to stop the violence, we all really want that there should be no violence. But when we stick to I and mine, there is no stopping of violence. Look at, history of the world. Was there a time when there was no violence? You won't find it in the history. Mm. Was there a time when there were no wars, no hatred? No. Mm. Our Charlie likes to fight for justice. Mm. That so he goes to agitations. This is to be, down with this, and all that. Mm. But that again creates another layer of violence. They are bad people. They have to be killed. They have to be eliminated. Mm. So, it's automatic expression of variety. When we stick to variety, and the variety being not real, variety being not real, uh, there is going to be violence. It is not possible to eliminate it at all. Mm. So, that is why if we want to become non-violent, What do you need to do, Paul? Hmm? Hmm. Feel the oneness. There is no other. There is no other. That is the only way you can remove the violence. Violence is not just non killing. Violence means also hatred. Mm. So, non violence also does not mean not killing. Non hatred, not being inimical. That is the meaning of non violence. You see the same eye. Mm. So, there is no hatred. Like when you go to the barber and cut your hair, are you wreaking vengeance or that kind of hatred on that? No. No, you are still for your own benefit. You are cutting it. It doesn't make you feel violent. Exactly like that. You are, say, eating cucumber. Now you don't feel that, well, I am going to kill this cucumber, this rascal cucumber. No. Uh, you, similarly, those who eat, say, non vegetarian food, they don't have the idea of particularly killing it. It is exactly, when you have this feeling of the same I, then you won't have the feeling of hatred towards anyone. So, this is how Sri Ramakrishna's life was. You can see the life of saints, how it expresses. They have no curses on their lips. They have only benevolence for everything. So, it is evident that after he attained the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the master's little eye or unripe eye completely disappeared, and that ever and whatever I-ness was left saw itself as ever connected with the cosmic eye or ripe eye. The author is trying his best to put that awareness in words, something that cannot be put in words, but still is making that attempt by using various expressions. So we have to use the words to go beyond words. That is how one has to use this special technique in reading such books. The same words like we read in, say, in newspapers or in any other book, same words have to be used because there are no other words. But those words now acquire a different technical meaning. We have to go beyond the apparent meaning of the word. It is, yeah, a very famous example that, okay, I need to buy a mouse. I need to buy a mouse. Those who work in this Brown University, those neuroscience or some laboratories, they buy a mouse means they buy a critter, you see, that animal. And then when I want to buy a mouse means for the computer, you see. The two things are different, although same word gets used, you see. So, it is the same words are used, but in religious literature, therefore, the readers have to use a technology, a technique of removing this apparent meaning and dwell deeper in the awareness of that the one who is telling it, and then the meaning will be discovered. Apparently, the words like many times Sri Ramakrishna, we were reading on Saturday about Hazra, that Sri Ramakrishna, in spite of seeing that oneness, would criticize and sometimes scold Hazra. But now, if you remove the apparent obvious meaning of the words, you will see that it is done with a different sense altogether. No hatred, but the love manifests differently in connection with different appearances. So, that is how in this you can see that the words like it is used here, that the same I consciousness, ripe I. So one has to see it like that. That I, just as in this hand and in this hand, same. So why different in that hand and that hand? No, same I. Mm. We can understand this when we go deep into meditation, that how different forms they are not actually different at all, they are same. Sometimes it would feel itself to be a limb or a part of the cosmic eye, and sometimes it would ascend gradually to the level of the cosmic eye and merge in it. So, there are these varieties were seen by these direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, who used to be with Sri Ramakrishna day and night for quite a few years. So, it is they have witnessed these things. They have heard about it also from others who witnessed these things. So, they know. The master could therefore grasp all ideas within all minds, because all ideas of all minds in the world spring from that cosmic eye. Mm. All comes from that, like all the waves coming, they come from that ocean. So, every single thought, every single expression, either of body or of mind, is coming from that one eye with which Sri Ramakrishna could always identify, and thus could see it more clearly, because we are identified with only one piece of flesh, blood, or whatever. We do not see what is going on in our minds, let alone the minds of others. We are not able to see actually what is going on in our own minds. Do you see that, Richard? Huh? Sometimes, yeah. That in and we still say that I know what is going on in my mind. That is a lie. We don't know what is going on in our mind. Sri Ramakrishna knew, because he could be seeing at various different layers the depth of our mind. So, therefore, through that state of bhava mukha, that is the meaning, that understanding of this word bhava mukha, that the source of all bhava, the attitude or existence, both in Sanskrit, the meaning of this word bhava is that which has come into existence. It comes from the root bhu. Bhu means to come into existence. So that is bhava. Mm. When it is not there, we call it abhava, means it is not there anymore. So, bhava and abhava. Mm. So, every bhava, all that is in existence, is springing from that source. Mm. So, that is that state. And so, that is the state from which Sri Ramakrishna could be the teacher of this world, that would see what is going on in each and every mind and thus give the instructions properly. So, this idea is further elaborated. We won't be able to read the whole thing today, it is pretty long, but we will see. The master could therefore grasp all ideas within all minds, because all ideas of all minds in the world spring from that cosmic eye. Because the master was always identified with that all pervading eye, he was able to know and understand any ideas that arose in the cosmic mind. In that exalted state, the master's feeling, I am a part of God, would gradually vanish, and the cosmic I or the divine mother's I would become manifest through him, and he would act as a guru possessing the power of bestowing grace and inflicting punishment. Hmm. That is when he would thus get identified with the cosmic eye. This would automatically happen to Sri Ramakrishna, and thus you can see that it is erasing the ego. The our little ego is erased. It is I am divine is not at all a statement of arrogance. Many feel like that how can you say I am divine? It is a blasphemy. It is a completely non spiritual idea. How can I be God? Well, I am not God in that sense at all. I am God is another way of saying that God alone is. There is no I. I is only a flimsy appearance. God alone is. It is a statement of total surrender. Mm. The total surrender of ego is what is meant when it is said, I am divine. Mm. It is sometimes to explain, it is shown through the example that it is uh, the rope and the snake example. I have not brought it out in many days now, so once in a while it is okay. So it is that the apparent snake, where there is actually a rope, because of insufficient light or because of the snake in the mind, you see that is snake. Now then somebody tells that that snake is rope. That is doesn't mean a snake is identical with rope, but that snake doesn't exist. It is the rope that is appearing as snake. So similarly, this little I doesn't exist. That is the statement when it is told, I am Brahman. It is absolutely the statement of total surrender. So we shall meditate for 30 seconds, and then if you have any question, any comment, you can after that, after meditation, you can make. Yes, please. Yes, Rosio. Yes, it is. That is the basis of compassion. It works both ways. Yes, yes. Uh, but the compassion sometimes is used in a different sense, and that is somehow, that is the commonly used term, that show compassion to that person. Means you are something superior, showing compassion to that fellow. Not in that sense. Compassion, that word should be properly deciphered etymologically, that it is feeling the same idea, same feeling should be there. That person's feelings become my feelings. That is compassion. Yeah. Spontaneous and that feeling of oneness attached to it. Yeah. Yes, Richard? It is a violent place. Mm? Pardon? Yeah, and exactly. That is why there is a saying in Sanskrit language that if it is done for that, you don't have the feeling of violence. Mm. Jivo jivascha jivanam, that is the Sanskrit phrase, means it is just transferring, from here to there. Like every moment, even in your body, several cells are getting killed. Mm. You are not intentionally killing them. Mm. Like when I had the cough, because of the exertion of the cough, many cells must have been inside, got quite hurt, I guess. Mm. Or if I take an antibiotic to remove that infection, then it would be a weapon of mass destruction for that lot of bacteria. But am I doing it to kill? That's not the intention there. Mm. So, it is, in that sense, it is not a violence. But the very separation is uh, uh, bothersome. The very separation is difficult to endure, and therefore the violence is automatic. Where there are two, there is always fear and violence. That is a statement in Upanishads. Very drastic statement. People shudder because we are so addicted to variety. It is, but that is the truth. That wherever there is two, there is fear, and which incites the violence. We want to make a preemptive attack, you see, because we are afraid. So there is fear. Wherever there is the perception of two, there is the Upanishad goes to the extent that there is no escape from fear. If we are perceiving too, no escape from fear. It is that is how even the friends also become enemies, because you feel that friend of mine is going beyond me and maybe he is plotting against me. So it is even the friends, they become enemies. All this we see. Why? Because two means that when there is no distinction, no difference, no fear and no violence, it is even when your own teeth bite your tongue. If your teeth bite your tongue, uh, has it happened to you, Paul, any time? Your teeth bite your tongue, then you take a hammer and break the teeth? No, no. There is no feeling of violence there at all, because it is one. There is no violence. Hmm. So that is how it works. Yes, Charlie?
I know you've given classes in the past on different yogas, and tonight you talked a lot about the goal, but can you say a few words about the way?
And this is the way to practice the oneness through your actions. When you do it, it becomes karma yoga. And when you do it out of from your love, instead of loving this person and that person and my so and so, then it is bondage, it is not love. It gives rise to hatred and violence. Mm. But if you see that love is turned towards God, then that becomes the way to arrive at that oneness called bhakti yoga. Then there is this way of discernment, that let me remove from my consciousness the erroneous awareness of names and forms, and then that becomes yoga of knowledge. And then yoga of control, controlling your passions, controlling the vibrations in the mind, meditating, that becomes the Raja Yoga. So that is how yoga is the path to reach the goal. Oh, there are questions there. Okay. Uh, yes, please read again. It does equate to the word Samadarshi as used in Bhagavad Gita, correct? Seeing the same, yeah. The Bhu Bhavati, that Bhavati means comes into existence. It is the present tense, and Bhava is the noun. From that very verb, the noun form is Bhava. That it is uh, like you use these in English also. Many words are used as names and the corresponding nouns. Mm. For example, it is that person fired a shot. Fired. Now there the word fire is verb. Mm. But then that forest caught fire. There the fire is noun. So similarly, bhava is noun, Bhavati is the verbal form. So, let us conclude with the closing prayers. Let me remind you of the upcoming retreat, spiritual retreat on 11th of May by Swami Atmajnananda. If you want to join the retreat, please register for it. It requires registration, and registration has a small fee. It is very small till 28th of this month. Till 28th, that is the coming Sunday, it is only $20. So, but if you want to pay more, then you can sign up later after 28th. If you want to pay less, now is your time. Mm. There is no pay less in the sense uh, that word is very confusing when combined with in English language. That is uh, a motherless child means not that the mother is less, no mother. That is, you say like that. You know that the word less has different shades. So pay less is not there. You have to pay. You can pay comparatively smaller amount or bigger amount. Yes. Mm. You can pay adding both also. Mm. For, for persons, who can give more, we can take it, no problem. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.